Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Hello everyone, welcome back to more 428 Shibuya Scramble. Last time, what we did was we revealed who Tama was. And turns out she was Maria after all. We found her. But anyways, now we just have to figure out how do we get her to remember who she is? So, yes, let's go ahead and start from Kano. Actually, before that, let me put in a little throat lozenge. Always need one of these fuckers before I start reading. And there, we also saw Guy die last time. Kanon, Kano muttered. What's Kanon? The stench of blood hung heavy in the basement bar. Stanley was silent, staring at the criminal's corpse. Hey, do you know anything about this? Kano asked. Still, Stanley gave no response. The silent treatment again, huh? Kano huffed. The American glanced at him gravely. In all likelihood, the one who did this was acting alone. Alone? Against this many other people? Who on earth? There's no need for you to know. Cut the crap, Kano snapped. He grabbed Stanley by the collar. If there's someone involved in this case who's capable of something like this, I need to know about it. How am I supposed to do my job if you keep me in the dark? Stanley remained stone-faced. Look, I'm not afraid of the risks, Kano said. And I'll be a lot more effective if you at least fill me in on the basics here. The more you know, the sooner you'll wind up dead. Kano tightened his grip. But it's okay if I wind up dead while I'm still in the dark, huh? Fine, Stanley said. I'll answer your first question. He brushed Kano's arm aside. Kanan is the name of a covert operative from the Middle East. In simple terms, a type of spy that infiltrates hostile territory to carry out various clandestine activities. I believe she's the one who killed these people here. Middle East? Covert operative? Kano hadn't expected spycraft to be involved. You have a guy from the US Embassy. How the fuck could there not be spycraft involved? Like frame fucking one, when Stanley spoke perfect Nihongo to you, then you should have realized then and there that, oh shit, this is a lot bigger than myself. This is a lot bigger than just Shibuya. Bigger than Tokyo. Anyways, yes, she's an assassin and cryptanalysis specialist. Do you recall the mass jailbreak from Abu Ghraib prison a while back? A prison in Iraq, west of Baghdad. Under the Hussein government, it was an internment facility for political prisoners, but following the Iraq War, it was used by the US Army to house prisoners of war. In April of 2004, photographs of detainees being tortured by US soldiers were released, causing a massive scandal. President Bush later made the decision to have the facility demolished. Kanan was the one who provided the intel the escapees used to get out. Kano was at a loss for words. The case was suddenly starting to seem a whole lot more sinister. Whoever this Kanan was, she had apparently killed nearly a dozen people with only a knife. She was clearly no one to trifle with. Just what kind of individual were they dealing with here? He could scarcely imagine. Once again, Kano surveyed the crime scene. Each of the murdered criminals had his throat slit. From the look of deep, clean cuts, the killer hadn't hesitated in the slightest. Okay, so then what connection does this Kanan have with the mastermind behind the kidnapping? If Kanan had killed all the members of the foreign syndicate members in this bar, did that mean she and the person behind the kidnapping were enemies? Or perhaps she and the kidnapper were working in concert, and she'd carried out these slayings as part of some plan to get rid of some loose ends. I believe I said I'd answer one question. Turning away, Stanley picked up a file from atop a nearby table. Apparently, he wasn't in the sharing mood. Realizing that further questions would be pointless, Kano peered sidelong at the file as Stanley opened it. Inside was a detailed map of Shibuya. There were various routes marked with arrows and times. That's the plan for the ransom relay. Kano was so excited he blurted his thoughts out loud. It appeared that the ultimate goal for the ransom was a condominium. The address and the time, 1420, were written in red ink. Kano put in an immediate call to the investigation task force to relay this information. The final destination is Ground Hill number 405 in Hiro 534, Shibuya. Alright, Kuze told him. We'll look into who owns the condo in question. You and Stanley head over there now. I'm setting back up to go in with you. You have authorization to apprehend the suspect. Finally hearing the order that he'd so long been waiting for, Kano felt a spark of determination flare inside him. All right, let's go, he said, some of his excitement slipping into his voice. Stanley, still solemn, closed the file and followed him out of the bar. Stanley drove along Inokashira Dori towards Hiro, where the finish line for the ransom relay was located. His demeanor was cold and brooding, in sharp contrast with Kano's gung-ho readiness. He seemed lost in some deep and cheerless thought. Kuze's voice came in over the wireless as the car came out onto Meiji-dori. We've identified the owner of the condominium! It's... Kano held his breath in anticipation. The name Kuze spoke caught him by surprise entirely. Ooh. Who could own that condominium? Who could be the owner of the condominium? Let's check up on Achi. You must be Hitomi. The girl called Kanon spoke fairly fluent Japanese. Hitomi nodded in response. Yes, that's me. And you're Kanon, right? How did you know my name? Did Maria tell you? Yes. She told me about this amazing girl from overseas she made friends with. A thin smile crossed Kanon's lips at the word amazing. Then her look grew sad. Poor Maria. It's my fault that she was abducted. What? Achi and Hitomi gasped in unison. That's why I have to rescue her, Kanon added. Hold on a second, Hitomi said. What do you mean it's your fault? Kanon replied by jerking her chin in the direction of the main road. Better head that way, she said softly. Okay. Her face is remarkably similar to Achi's. I knew something was up with Achi's face. He didn't look Japanese at all. To me, at least. But now it's starting to make some sense. Possibly. But Hitomi didn't back down. Please tell me, why was my sister kidnapped? Several sets of footsteps echoed down the alley. They could see figures approaching now, by the looks of them, accomplices of the man Kanon had taken down earlier. You two get out of here, she warned. I'll handle this. She stepped out in front of Achi and Hitomi, moving with such confidence that they didn't doubt she could handle the threat. Come to the Gigo building at 3 o'clock, she added quietly, never taking her eyes off the advancing syndicate members. Huh? Hitomi squeaked. I'll explain everything then. The criminals broke into a run. Come on, Hitomi, let's go, Achi hissed. He took her by the hand and bolted from the alleyway. The two didn't slow their pace until they put plenty of distance between themselves and the alleyway. Kanon said this was her fault. What could she have meant by that? The hard run hadn't made Hitomi forget the other girl's startling suggestion. Well, she said she'll meet up with us again later, Achi said. We can ask her more about it then. In the meantime, an ache in his belly had made Achi realize he'd been running all day and hadn't eaten since the morning. People on a diet need to be careful about skipping meals. Going too long without proper nourishment can cause the body to store up its energy reserves, leading to weight gain instead of loss. Proper eating habits and proper exercise are key. Maybe it's not the best timing, but do you want to get some food? Yuto Nakamura. Oh shit. Not the laughing Titus. Not the but like him even younger than that. So his actor is Japanese, but his facial features look kinda Middle Eastern. I knew he didn't look quite Japanese, but he is with that sort of, his actor is with that sort of name, so I don't know. I'll be okay. Hitomi's face was racked with emotion. It's only natural, Achi thought. Not only was she afraid for her sister's life, but there were all these people out to kill her too. And with this Kanon girl suddenly showing up, the situation was even more confusing than ever. Still, they might as well address the few problems they could control. There was a fast food joint nearby. Let's go in there, Achi said. You might not be hungry, but you should still make sure you stay hydrated. Hitomi shook her head, but her wan face practically radiated exhaustion. Her wan face? Come on, we should rest up a little. But there's no rush. If we're going to meet up with Kanon later, it's probably best if we don't just wander aimlessly until then. Never know who we might run into. I guess you're right. The two went into the fast food restaurant together. Sweden! Welcome, said the girl at the register with a bright smile. May I take your order? I'll have the spaghetti with meat sauce. How about you, Hitomi? Spaghetti with a sauce made from tomatoes and ground meat, also known as spaghetti bolognese, if you want to sound more Italian. Like Neapolitan spaghetti, flavored with ketchup, it is a perennial favorite of Japanese children. Frozen packages at the supermarket for around 200 yen a pop make for a simple and decently tasty microwavable meal that's also easy on the wallet. I'll just have an iced tea. Hey now, you should probably eat at least a little something. Okay, then I'll have a strawberry parfait. A dessert of strawberries topped with ice cream and whipped cream. Hitomi has been so worried about her sister that she hasn't eaten anything since last night, but being with Achi has calmed her nerves a little, and her appetite has returned. Perhaps her reflexive order of a strawberry parfait is a sign that she's not only hungry, but also still a little girl with a sweet tooth at heart. She sounded a little embarrassed to be ordering a dessert. So yeah, said Achi. One spaghetti and meat sauce and a strawberry parfait, please. Coming right up. The cashier promptly assembled their meal and set it out on a tray. We've got a special contest going on right now, she said. Please check it out if you're interested. The girl handed Achi a flyer. It read, Iron Stomach Eating Contest. Eat 1,000 scoops of ice cream and win 10 million yen. A competitive eating event held by this establishment, backed by Sun TV, the competition has been shared with the entire country over the internet. Many contestants have entered for a shot at the 10 million yen prize, but so far, no one has been able to complete the eating challenge. Due to the large number of competitors who suffer from gastrointestinal distress as a result of their efforts, roughly 30 portable toilets have been set up outside the restaurant. What the heck? Achi stared at the flyer as he took a seat at an open table. 1,000 scoops? That's impossible! Anyway, let's hurry up and eat. As Achi stuffed his face with spaghetti, he thought back to their encounter with Kanan. The girl had helped them out, sure, but could they really trust her completely? It might be dangerous to meet up with her again. Still, Hitomi needed to know more about what had happened to Maria, and Kanan obviously knew something about that. It looked like they need to take that risk. My sister really is amazing. Huh? Hitomi's quiet words drew Achi from his ruminations. He paused with a fork full of spaghetti halfway to his mouth. My sister met Kanan while she was on a trip to the Middle East with my father. Hitomi nibbled at her parfait, looking lonesome. Cool, but how does that in particular make your sister amazing? It's typical of her, is all. She's so dynamic and gung-ho about things. Hitomi explained, her gaze turned inward. It was just my father and sister who took that trip to the Middle East. I didn't go with them. I guess my mental image of that part of the world is mostly that it's really dangerous. To me, going there seemed like a huge risk, but Maria didn't see it that way. Heh. Your sister sounds like a bit of a loose cannon. But if you can't bring yourself to take risks, to do things, Tomi continued, you can't meet new people and have new experiences. That's the part I always get hung up on, the risk. I'd never be able to make a friend like Kanan. Achi's mind wandered as he listened to Hitomi talk. She and her sister might be twins, but each of them was still unique. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there, he said. He held up a hand to cut her off. Huh? Hitomi's eyes went wide. Why are you comparing yourself to your sister? I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a twin, but can't you just be yourself? Professor Palmer said the same thing. Achi didn't recognize the name. My leg itchy. Oh, sorry. Leland Palmer. He's my university English professor. He's given me advice on a whole bunch of things. That sounded rather intimate. All sorts of worrying images shot through Achi's mind. So, how old is this teacher of yours? Huh? Around 40 or so, I guess. Great, Achi thought to himself. Another middle-aged guy. Oh my god. His mind filled with another sequence of slightly more upsetting images. Oh shit. Oh hey, ain't that Hitomi Asawa? Oh wow, you're right, it totally is. A college-aged couple sitting behind them were talking in hushed, excited tones. Man, she really is a cutie, the young man observed. He made no attempt to hide the fact that he was looking Hitomi over. Hey, hold on, Masa. Wait. Hey, hold on, Masa, said the girl. What gives? A first-year student at Midoriyama Academy who works part-time as a delivery driver for Dogen Hut, a noodle shop on Dogenzaka. He's taken the day off work today in order to attempt a dry run of the Iron Stomach eating competition, hoping to strike it rich while his girlfriend looks on. But now that he's eaten 2 parfaits, his stomach isn't feeling well, and he's just gotten back from his 5th trip to the toilet. Well, I mean, she is Miss Midoriyama, right? Miss Midoriyama? What did that even matter? Achi decided to ignore the couple. But no. He was just too curious. Achi turned back to Hitomi. Is that true? He asked, peering intently at her face. Well, yeah. She nodded with an awkward smile. Well, I mean, you are really cute and all, Achi said. Miss Midoriyama. Well, I'll be. He nodded to himself as he took it all in. It was Professor Palmer who convinced me to enter that beauty contest, actually, Hitomi said. The Miss Midoriyama contest at Midoriyama Academy is considered one of the top student beauty pageants in Japan. Pin-up shots of both Hitomi and Maria have already graced the pages of several magazines. Talent agencies have also made attempts to scout them, but both girls declined, claiming that they entered the contest just for the memories, and that they have no interest in show business. Huh. Achi's smile twisted up a little. He said if I really wanted to change myself, I should try entering. Achi maintained his outward composure, but inside his heart was racing. Tanaka and Palmer. Which of them held Hitomi's true affections? Or was she possibly leading on two middle-aged men at the same time? The more he thought about it, the worse his delusions became. What actually happened though? Is my sister and I both won the prize. Hitomi's words snapped him out of his funk. She sounded disappointed. Huh? They gave out a double prize. Turns out my sister had entered the competition too. She smiled a self-depreciating smile. Guess twins really do think alike, huh? Hey, double schmubble. You still won a prize, right? That's pretty impressive. Nah, they just picked me as an afterthought to my sister, because twins sharing the prize made for a good headline. She looked away sadly. Did they say they picked you as an afterthought? They didn't have to. It was obvious that my sister really won. Can't know that. Wait, maybe she was the afterthought. Come on, you need to believe in yourself. Hitomi just hung her head. But I'm such a terrible person. Suddenly her eyes welled up with tears. I hate myself so much. Can never forgive myself for what I did. Hey, whoa! Achi watched her with trepidation. She looked like she might start bawling at any moment. What's the matter? The night my sister was kidnapped, I was supposed to go to a college party with her. But then all of a sudden she told me not to go. I kept asking her why not, but she just kept insisting I couldn't. Tomi's face was bleak with regret. We both got mad and I wound up blowing up at her. Okay, I get it. I don't need to go to the party. Fine. I just be your little tag-along anyway. Just like in that beauty contest. You couldn't just let me enter that by myself, could you? You always have to be the center of attention. Maria scowled. Fine. The party starts at 7 o'clock. Try not to forget, okay? I was kicking myself as soon as I'd told her off. My sister isn't the sort of person to tell me what to do or not to do. She must have had a reason for not wanting me to go. I was planning on apologizing to her after the party, but then she was abducted, right? But then she was abducted, right? Achi polished off the last of his spaghetti. He set down his fork, then wiped his mouth. Hitomi, I get why you're trying so hard to save your sister, he said. Maybe I'm not as tough as that Kanon girl, but I'll stick with you to the end if you'll let me. He tried his best to convey an optimism he didn't really feel. And once we found her and she's safe and sound, you can tell her that you're sorry about what you said. At long last, Hitomi cracked a smile. Vega! A short while later, the two arrived outside the Gigo building. They were a little early for their 3 o'clock meetup with Kanan. They had decided that searching at random for the blue minivan was too risky. It could easily draw the attention of the man with the cane or the foreign kidnappers. Getting information from Kanan seemed like the best next move. "Oh, hey," Achi said as they waited. "You've got a little rip in your top." Hitomi glanced at her shoulder and saw the tear in the fabric. "Oh, you're right. When did that happen, I wonder?" "Must have snagged on something while we were running, I guess." "We've got some time before Kanan gets here. Do you want me to buy some new clothes?" "Huh? Are you sure that's a good idea?" "We'll stick out if we just stand around here waiting. May as well head inside until it's time." Since many celebrities did their shopping at Gigo, there were back entrances for times when the place was crowded. Everyone who frequented the old shopping district knew about them, including Achi and Hitomi. In a pinch, one of those back entrances could be an escape route. With this in mind, the two headed inside. Shibuya Gigo was an entertainment complex featuring a video arcade and fashion shops. At the time of this story, Gigo includes not only a fashion mall, but various amusements on its different levels. The second floor features all ages fun with rides, games, and sticker machines, while the third floor sports the latest arcade games for the core gamer. There's also a food court that offers things such as crepes and loaded takoyaki octopus dough balls. The ground floor and 2 basement levels of the building were designed as an amusement area, outfitted with skee ball, claw cranes, and fighting games and the like. The second floor held a mix of photo booths and ladies' wear shops. On the third floor were specialty fashion boutiques, and on the fourth were restaurants. Achi and Hitomi took the escalator to the second floor. Hitomi started heading for the shops, but Achi stopped her. "Hey, wait up! What's the matter?" "A dude hanging around a woman's clothing store is gonna stand out. I'll wait for you here." There seemed to be nobody but female customers around. The man with the cane or the kidnappers appeared. Achi figured he would spot them right away. It should be safe for Hitomi to shop on her own for a short while. "All right," Hitomi said. "I'll try to make this quick." She began to head out onto the sales floor. Oh shit. Oh my fucking god. Oh. Oh. Whoa! A seedy looking man poked out from beneath the floor of a photo booth right at Hitomi's feet. "That was a close one, wasn't it?" "That was a close one, wasn't it, Tama?" he said to her. "I thought it was dead meat for sure." His tone was oddly cheerful considering what he was saying. "Who's this guy?" "Who's this guy?" Achi asked. "You know him?" "No, I don't." The sketchy fellow gave her an ingratiating look. "Come on, Tama, don't be like that." Hitomi took an anxious step back. "Hey man, knock it off." Achi dragged the guy up to his feet. Okay, no need to get all testy. Who is this guy, Tama? He your boyfriend?" "Boyfriend?" That might be the one way to get rid of him. Is what he was supposed to say, but... Oh, wait. Is what he was about to say, but Hitomi spoke up first. "No, he's not. What? So you're not her boyfriend? The guy flashed a broad grin. Hey, listen, you creep. Who the hell are you? Oh, me? The man's face suddenly blanched. Oh, crap. Tama, hold on to this for a bit, will ya? The weirdo shoved a worn-out magazine in Hitomi's hands, then bolted off in a panic. The heck was that? Oh, fuck. Yeah, I wonder why he ran off like that. Achi and Hitomi stared at one another. Well, anyway, Achi said, there are a lot of nut jobs out there, so just be careful, yeah? Okay, if anything happens, I'll give you a shout. Hitomi flashed him an impish smile, then scampered off on the sales floor. As he watched her go, Achi muttered to himself, damn it, why does she have to be so cute? What the fuck? 5 minutes or more passed as Achi waited for Hitomi. He stood by the escalator almost as if he were keeping guard. Female shoppers began giving him icy stares for being somewhere he probably shouldn't. This sucks. Come on, Hitomi, hurry up and get back here. The longer he waited, the more uncomfortable he felt. How long was she going to take? No, that is not Hitomi. Then he happened to turn around to see Hitomi riding the escalator up. Looked like she had indeed bought some new clothes. Hey, Hitomi! She didn't seem to hear him. He decided to shout a bit louder. Hey, come on, wait up! Hitomi stole a quick look back at him. Where are you going? He called. It's not safe for us to get too separated. Yet still she continued her flight towards the upper floors. Did she not realize it was him or something? Achi hurried in pursuit. Achi followed her, but by the time he reached the top, she was out of sight. This was the restaurant floor. Yeah, that's, yeah. Immediately, yeah, like frame fucking 1. This was the restaurant floor, so it was more open than the other levels. A floor designated solely for eateries. Typically, this is the topmost floor of a mall building like Gigo. Those who head up here during morning hours will likely find the place deserted. Gigo's restaurant floor features a variety of different cuisines, including Chinese, Italian, creative Japanese food, sushi, tempura, and other delicacies from around the world. He hurriedly began to look around. As he wandered, he bumped into a man talking on his cell phone. Ah, sorry, my bad. Achi held up a hand in apology, but the man was too engrossed in conversation to notice. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. That's Tanaka. No, you're not getting it. The lock was undone too. The man startled Achi by suddenly shouting into his phone. You need to consider the risk of it getting out. Whatever this guy was talking about, he sure was angry with whoever was on the other end. Look, I'll figure out what to do about the minivan. You just handle things on your end. Minivan? Achi's interest was piqued, but he needed to find Hitomi before he let anything distract him. As he scoured the 4th floor, he came across a Chinese buffet and then noticed the large windows in its outer walls. You could see a lot of Shibuya through those windows. Maybe Hitomi decided to look for the minivan from up here. One of the restaurant employees came rushing up as Achi headed inside. Sir, I'm sorry, she said. Sir, you'll have to forgive the inconvenience. We're not open to the, public. Not right now. Not at the moment, I mean. The employee's voice was oddly subdued for some reason. Masay Takei, a part-time staffer at Imabiki Chinese restaurant. Her boss chewed her out pretty bad for showing up at work with her nails manicured black. She was ordered to go to the restroom and scrub them clean, but no amount of nail polish remover was able to do the trick, and so she's been dealing with her boss's wrath all day long. Jesus fucking Christ. Why not? Achi asked. Well, you see, one of our customers ate all of our food. They ate all of it? Ugh. Looking around, Achi saw a table. He saw a table. Looking around, Achi saw a chubby young woman camped out at a table by one of the windows. Set out before her was a veritable mountain of plates. What I'm trying to say, sir, is that we're, closed for the rest of the day. Oh, but I'm with her, actually. Achi lied. Without waiting for a reply, he barged into the restaurant. He took a quick look around, but there was no sign of Hitomi. Before leaving, though, he figured he'd at least take a look out the window. The huge glass panes looked out onto Dogenzaka. He had a decent view of the roads, but he didn't spot a blue minivan. Achi dropped his gaze to the sidewalk outside the building. Oh. He let out a tiny gasp. Even from 4 stories up, there was no mistaking what he saw. A group of black-clad foreign men had gathered outside the building. Had they figured out that he and Hitomi were inside? He needed to find her, and fast. He raced out of the restaurant, alert for trouble. Ooh. You know what? Yeah, let's see what Maria gets up to. As soon as she figures out that she's not a cat. The sales clerk continues to stare at me. You know, you look really familiar, he says. Huh? Really? I perk up at that. Maybe I can find out something about who I am. Yeah, you totally look like some pop singer or TV personality. I just can't remember who. Oh, that's what you meant. My shoulders slump in disappointment. Look, if you're trying to flatter me, how about a discount on the necklace? Sure, okay. I mean, it's just something I picked up off the side of the... The sales clerk stammers for a moment. Okay, how about I take off 10,000? 30,000 and it's yours. You mean it? That perks me right back up. Guess I'm easy to please. Get your mind out of the gutter. That's not what she means, and that's not what I was thinking at all. Game, I am not that kind of person. Sure, you look like you might need to buy some new clothes, too. He points to my sweater. Oh, it's ripped. There's a tiny tear on the left shoulder. Wow, that's funny. Where have I seen that before? So, what do you want to do about the cat? The sales clerk adds. Want me to dispose of it for you? He gestures at my costume with his jaw. Oh, right. What should I do? He obviously wants to help me. May as well have him get rid of the costume, too. Sure, if you don't mind, I say. I pay him the 30,000 yen, take the necklace, and leave the knick-knack shop. A few minutes later, near the station, I spot a sort of mall. Checking the directory by the entrance, I see that it's got several clothing shops and an arcade inside. They probably sell shirts in here. I hurry on inside. The interior of the building is like a twisting maze of corridors, all of them overflowing with people. I take the escalator to the second row and find myself amidst rows of arcade games. I was trying to get to the fashion area, but I must have gone the wrong way. Excuse me. You haven't seen a lost little girl, have you? I turn to a miserable-looking middle-aged man peering at me anxiously. Teruo Toyama. He got separated from his daughter Hana while running from debt collectors. He's on edge, worrying that the men who are after him might take Hana hostage. Have you seen her? A little girl about 10 years old? A girl around 10? Have I seen her? What's her name? Hana Toyama. Hana? Oh, that's a pretty name. So, she's about yay tall. The man launches into a rapid-fire explanation, describing the girl's features, hair, and clothes. I got separated from her around Center Guy. She likes this place, so I thought she'd maybe come here. Center Guy? That's right, now I remember. This is the guy I bumped into earlier at the afternoon, while I was racing around in the cat costume. He got separated from his daughter? Yikes. If she did come here, it's not going to be easy to find her in the midst of these crowds. Are you sure she didn't go back home? I ask. Well, there's this problem, he mutters. Going home isn't an option. Well, that's not really an explanation. Sorry to bother you. I'll look around a bit more. With that, Hana's father disappears into the crowd. I leave the arcade and head for the fashion area. Oh, Christ. I bump into Mr. Yanagashita in a hallway lined with photo booths. Huh? Boss? What you doing in a place like this? Oh, Tama! You're out of the suit! For some reason, he's got a bunch of magazines strewn across the floor. Yeah, finally managed to get it off. That's good. I wish you could have been at the sales demo without your face hidden away. What are you doing? You mentioned something about a creek earlier. Are you going on a trip? Yeah, I was, but then I remembered something important. I get motion sickness, something fierce. He sounds kind of proud of himself. So yeah, no trips for me. Heck, I don't even want to think about that now. What about the money you owe? I ask, curious. Well, as it happens, I think I may have found the solution. He brings a hand to his mouth and giggles. You fucking idiot. Right here. I found a great way to make a killing. To earn a lot of money, usually in a very short time and or with little effort. The phrase originated in the 19th century in reference to hunters who were paid based on the number of kills they made. He opens the magazine he's holding to reveal a scratch card with a potential 100,000 yen prize. You just gotta scratch off one of these to win 100,000 yen. All I need is 30 of them and my debt's squared away. Each magazine I can nab is more money for me. Despite his enthusiasm, his story doesn't quite add up. Are those scratch cards guaranteed to win? No, of course not. It's a lottery sort of thing. Well, then having 30 copies of the magazine is hardly a foolproof. She's looking into the audience. What the fuck? Quite the opposite, in fact, but I hold my tongue. Okay, then. Now that my goddess of fortune Tama's here, let me hurry off and scratch these suckers off. Yanagashita begins, fervently scratching away at the first card with the coin. Aw, this one's a loser. Maybe the next one. Nope, that's a loser too. Damn it. So is this one, and this one. In a spectacular display, he scratches off one losing card after another. Soon he's down to one last magazine. You're not a very lucky person, are you? Oh, please don't say that! Mr. Yanagashita looks like he's on the verge of tears. I stare at one of the losing scratch cards. You know, if you could just see the symbols through the card, you'd win for sure, I say jokingly. I hold the card up to the light. When I do, I really can see the symbols through the card. Boss? I think I might have just... Shh! He interrupts me before I can share my shocking discovery. I look at him in surprise. Mr. Yanagashita has gone all pale. Quiet, Tama! Those guys are here. He shoves me into a photo booth. Those guys? The debt collectors, he hisses. Just do not give up! He clutches the sides of his head. Peeking out of the booth, I spot a pair of men who look pretty rough around the edges. Is it those two? Shh! Not so loud! The men are looking around, and they're getting closer and closer. What do I do? Oh, what do I do? Mr. Yanagashita starts getting panicky. Tama, what do I do? I have no idea. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. Mr. Yanagashita whimpers. Getting involved with those thugs strikes me as a bad idea. I pretend not to know Yanagashita and run off. Ah, Tama! Wait up, please! I can still hear him calling pathetically as I scurry away. I didn't get to mention the transparent scratch cards, but that may be for the best. The guy really ought to develop a proper work ethic. You go, girl. Hey, come on, wait up! Wait, no. Hey, come on, wait up! I'm on the escalator to the 3rd floor when I hear someone shouting. I figure it's someone yelling to their kid, but when I turn to look, I see a young man I don't recognize staring right at me. Where are you going? It's not safe for us to get too separated. What? Who's this weirdo? Is this some new pickup chick or something? I rush up the escalator to get away from the guy. When I get to the restaurant section on the 4th floor, I'm hit with a sudden pang of hunger. It's Sonic. Look, it's Sonic. It's Sonic in the background. He go fast. Come to think of it, I haven't eaten a thing all day. I'm so hungry, I mutter to myself as I walk around. What should I eat? Then I spot Cheery coming out of a Chinese restaurant. Hey, Cheery! She turns to look at me, confused. Who are you? Oh, it's me! It's Tama! Ah, I thought I recognized that voice, she replies with a nod. Did you eat again? I ask. Well, yeah, but then they kicked me out. Isn't that just terrible? She looks pretty displeased. I came here because they said it was all you can eat, but then they closed shop because they ran out of food. Oh. Wow, you're right. I spot one of the restaurant staff hanging a closed sign on the front door. Man, now my early afternoon snack is ruined. An afternoon snack? At an all-you-can-eat buffet? I can't help but stare at Cheery's midsection, amazed by what that stomach is capable of. By the way, have you seen the boss? She asks. Thought he'd finally accepted that he needs to buckle down and work, but he's got some new crazy scheme. Guess the guy's just never gonna learn. I figure nothing good's gonna come from associating with him. I'd be careful if I were you too. Huh. Done with her little rant, Cheery says goodbye and heads off among the restaurants. Hitomi? Said that. Were they talking to me? Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Were they Wait, I turned to see a businessman of some sort staring in my direction. Like everyone I've run into today, I don't recognize him. For some reason, though, I feel relaxed in his presence. Is that you, Hitomi? Hitomi? Would that be my name? Or are you Maria? No, As I fumble for words, the man peers at me with obvious concern. What are you doing in a place like this? We need to get you back home. Your parents are worried sick. My parents? Did someone file a missing person report while I've been wandering around with amnesia? The man leads the way, and I follow. We leave the Gigo building, but head down a narrow alleyway. Then the man suddenly stops. I feel a jolt of anxiety as I notice something gleaming in his hand. Doesn't matter which of the two you are. You're both in the way. He mutters almost as if talking to himself. Right after that, everything goes dark. Don't trust this guy. After meeting a man who seemed to know her on the restaurant level, our heroine hoped to find out more about her past. Instead, she wound up getting attacked in an alleyway. Ultimately, this all came to pass because she was avoiding that young man who mistook her for Hitomi. If he hadn't come shouting after her, she would have gone on to buy some clothes as she had originally intended. Fuck, that's heavy. All of a sudden, extremely heavy. Well, let's see if we can't change what Achi did here. He decided to go after her. Had she forgotten where she was waiting for her? She stayed on the escalator, heading up toward the top floor. Achi followed her, but by the time he reached the top, she was out of sight. It was the restaurant floor. Cell phone guy. Minivan. Well, let's help him, actually. This guy gave me a job, so I kind of owe him I'll look around for a better place for the two of us to hide. Unfortunately, I don't really see anywhere that might work. We might be safest staying right here where we are. Just stay nice and still and we'll be fine, I whisper. Yeah, you're probably right. The curtain is drawn so people can't see inside, but just to keep up appearances, we start taking photos as if we're normal customers. I really hope they don't look in here, Mr. Yanagashita murmurs. What'll we do if they find us? They won't. Just don't worry. Despite my reassurances, it was a while before he stopped trembling. Then he said, You know, Tama, they say that when a man and a woman meet under unusual circumstances, it's easy for them to fall in love. Uh-huh. Do they now? They do. Going through an extreme situation together makes you fall for each other. So, want to get married? No way. Yeah, I'm not having this conversation. Anyway, I think they're gone now, the debt collectors, I mean. Mr. Yanagashita peeks out and quickly scans the surrounding area. They're gone? They're gone! So long, losers! His fear has given way to a burst of manic energy. Guess I'm in the clear now. Thanks, Tama. Wait, guess I'm in the clear now. Thanks, Tama. Come on, let's take some commemorative photos. Huh? To commemorate what exactly? Come on, it'll be fun. Okay, big smile now. Ready? Cheese! Butter, cheese, butter, margarine. After that, I part ways with Mr. Yanagashita and head to a different floor. I don't tell him about being able to see through the scratch cards. The guy really ought to develop a proper work ethic. The third floor is packed with young girls. I spot a shirt that catches my eye and head to the fitting room to try it on. There I realize it's something in my pocket. There's something in my pocket. Something I must have been carrying around for a while. It's a photo. A photo of a white man. Oh, what the fuck? Who's this guy? I can't quite tell if I recognize him or not. This man. Huh? Dangerous. I hear someone's voice inside my head. Stay away from him. Flashes of memory flicker in my mind. I see a girl standing before me. I can't quite recall her face, but I get the impression she's someone very important. She speaks to me. Oh, she has that tattoo too. This man is dangerous. Stay away from him. That's all. Then I snap back to my senses. It feels like I was right on the cusp of remembering something critical. At any rate, it seems there's some connection between me and the man in that photo. Try as I might, though, I can't recall anything more than that. Hey, those are cute. I try on the shirt I picked out. Yeah, that looks good. I try to buy it. I decide to buy it and have the store toss out my torn sweater for me. As I'm about to go down the escalator, a young man strides up to me as if I'm an old friend. There you are. I thought you were going to meet on the second floor. Going to meet? What's this guy talking about? I've never seen him before. Ah, well, anyway. Come on, we have to go hide. Hide? Why do we need to do that? Hide? Why? Because those guys might have found us. They're outside. He grabs my hand and I yank it away. Hey, come on, what gives? Is this some new pickup trick or something? Whatever it is, it's way too aggressive. I get the heck out of there. Hey, hey! The guy keeps shouting, but I ignore him and try to slip away into the crowd. When I look back, though, I see that he's still following me. What do I do? For now, maybe I should head to another floor. I hurry my way toward the bank of elevators. Not again. Well, if it isn't Tama, what a coincidence! It's Yanagashita again. I try to walk on by like I don't notice him, but it's already too late. Huh? Hey, where'd your boyfriend go? Boyfriend? I have no clue what he's talking about. Anyway, perfect timing. Can you give me back that magazine? Nothing you're saying is making any sense. I peer at him in confusion. Once again, Yanagashita looks like he might start to cry. Don't tease me like this. I did give it to you, right? No, you didn't give me anything. I get it. You wanted that 1,000 yen, 100,000 yen all to yourself. So now you're playing dumb, is that it? No, I honestly have no idea what this is all about. By now he's all worked up and getting red in the face. Look, you might have amnesia, but that excuse ain't gonna fly with me. The amnesia has nothing to do with it. He doesn't seem to want to believe me, no matter what I say. Come on, hurry up and just give it back. Otherwise, I'm gonna start bawling here real loud. He's gonna cry? Seriously? This guy's a real piece of work. Well, what's it gonna be? Gonna make a grown man cry? It would certainly be pretty embarrassing if he starts sobbing now, but I can't exactly give him back a magazine I never had. The elevator doors open. Well, if it isn't our little entrepreneur, we've been looking for you. It's the two thugs from before, and there's no avoiding them this time. Asao Ozu and his underling, Yutaro Sagawa, members of the Tenryu Gumi Yakuza Syndicate. Ozu is quite frightening when angry, but his nickname is Ozu the Ogre. But despite his strong emotions, he is very logic-driven. Sagawa is the archetypical punk who likes to get into scuffles, but he's also a really good cook. Always important in the family. Yipes! The men drag Mr. Yanagashita into the elevator. Save me, Tama! He grabs a hold of my hand. Hey, let go of me! Great, now I'm in the elevator too and the doors are shutting. Now then, Mr. Yanagashita, says the bald-headed man. There's nowhere else to run. His tone is polite, but also pretty foreboding. Whoa, wait, just hold on, I can get you the money! Just about to get loads of it! Enough of your poppycock, snarls the younger guy. Balderdash, claptrap, straight up nonsense. Taken from the Dutch, poppycock, meaning soft dung. I really mean it this time. Please, you have to believe me. I can pay you 100,000 right now. 100,000? You really carrying around that much? Asked the bald man. No, not me, the girl. The men turned to eye me in unison. She's holding on to something that's worth 100,000 yen. What? The sudden turn in the conversation has me all flustered. Tama, please, Mr. Yanagashita says. Just hand it over. I already told you I don't know what you're talking about. The elevator stops at the first floor and the doors open. Oh! Standing on the other side of the doors is the guy I ran into earlier, Hana's father. The bald-headed man snarls. Toyama! Yeah, I'll just get the next one. Hana's father bolts like a startled hare. The bald man and his cronies stare after him. Now's my chance, Yanagashita hisses. He darts out of the elevator and makes her run for it. Hey, after him, shouts the bald man. After who? Him or him? Just start with Toyama. The two thugs race after Hana's father. They've left me all by myself. I'm worried enough to think about going after them, but before too long, I've lost sight of them all. For a long time, I just stand there, dumbfounded like a hurricane victim, lingering in the aftermath. Ugh. What a day this has been. When I finally get my wits about me, I realize I'm pretty hungry. That's right, I didn't get to eat lunch. I head for the 4th floor, where the restaurants are. Since I really don't want to run into Yanagashita and those other guys again, I decided to take the escalator. As I'm riding it up, I hear a commotion coming from the floor below. It's a man's voice shouting angrily. Out of my way, come on! I pay the outburst no heed, and let the escalator take me up. When I arrive at the 4th floor restaurant section, the sign for a Chinese buffet catches my eye. A style of dining where guests serve themselves freely from an array of prepared foods, such as taking as much of each as they want. Many hotels and restaurants tend to hold buffets at lunchtime or for brunch. Sometimes, however, this just winds up being a kind of cruel trap, with crowded lines making it forever for you to get even near the food. Imabiki Chinese Restaurant. The name means something along the lines of fire of morning. I guess fire is important for cooking, but that's kind of an unsettling thing to call an eatery. Oh well, I guess the name doesn't really matter. I'm in a mood to straight up devour some Chinese food. Some succulent Chinese food. When I go to enter, though, I'm stopped by one of the employees. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. I'm afraid we're not accepting any more customers. I mean, we're not really open, just not now. She sounds a little bewildered by her own words. Why not? Well, you see, one of our other customers ate all of our food. Someone ate an entire restaurant out of food? Is that even possible? What I'm trying to say, miss, is that we're closed for the day. Go figure. Looks like Mr. Yanagashita's bad luck has rubbed off on me. Guess I'll have to look for another restaurant too. Hold up. Who's that kid? Lying idly across the seats in the waiting area at the front of the restaurant is a young girl. Is this the girl that dismal-looking fellow has been searching for? She looks so sad it makes my heart ache. I can't just leave her here alone. Excuse me, is your name Hana? She looks wary at the question. Your father's been looking for you, I say. Hana ignores me and just stares up at the ceiling. Hey, how about we try and find your dad together? I coax the girl into getting up, then I call out to the restaurant staffer. Excuse me, where should I go to ask them to put an announcement on the PA system? Dunno, maybe the 1st floor? The security office? Right, down we go. I take Hana with me, and we get on one of the elevators together. Do you know my father? Hana's tone is pretty brusque. Well, I don't really know him exactly. Then are you a debt collector? I laugh and shake my head. Would a debt collector really be wearing an outfit like this? Hana lets out a deep sigh. So you're just kind of butting in then? Well, yeah, I guess so. I can't help but grin sheepishly. I feel like something about sad little Hana is stirring some kind of lost memories. If I just came out and told her that, though, she'd probably think I was a total weirdo. So I decided to say something else. I guess I just get bored being all by myself. I like being alone. Hana looks away from me. Still, I'm sure your father must be missing you right now. He doesn't care what happens to me. Her words trigger a sudden, intense tightness in my chest. What is this feeling? When I get to the security office, I hear voices coming from inside. I wonder what they're talking about. I peek in through the crack in the door and see a man with a cane speaking with a security guard. How many exits are there that lead outside? There's the main entrance on the first floor, along with 2 side entrances. Also, there's one down on the first basement level, and another in the second basement. The security guard spoke with polite precision. I see, says the man with the cane. I need you to shutter all exits except for the main entrance right away. Understood, sir. Attention, all shoppers. The announcement comes in over the loudspeaker. Due to maintenance, all first floor entrances other than the main entrance have been closed. We apologize for the inconvenience. Customers wishing to leave, please use the main entrance on the first floor. I'm not sure what just happened, but it sounds like the main entrance is now the only way out. Come on, I say, let's have them make an announcement for us. But when I turn around, Hana is gone. She must have run off while I was distracted. Well, looky here, if it ain't that little cutie again. The 2 young thugs that were after Yanagashita come strolling toward me. Wow, you're a speedy one, huh? Says the bald man. Weren't you downstairs just now? And did you change your clothes too? He looks me over, seeming impressed. Hey, hold on, let me see your face. The younger man grabs me by the wrist. You know Yanagashita, yeah? Go on and give him a little quick little call for us. He gives me a sharp yank. Let go of me! Can it, girlie? Just give the man a call and we're all good. I have nothing to do with that guy. Do it now! These guys aren't even listening to me. Now I'm pretty pissed off. I said I have nothing to do with that guy! I whip my man-handled arm in a wide arc and send the younger man flying into a stack of boxes. Guess he must not have been expecting that. He hits hard. The impact knocks him out cold. Whoa. Who the heck are you? Bald man asks, his eyes wide. Shut up, I tell him. You're next. I flash a winning grin. He gathers up his fallen friend and drags him away as fast as he can go. Violence saves the day. Okay, that was pretty strange. It's just like when I was fighting Miku. My body seems to know how to pull off all these moves instinctively. Am I a martial artist, maybe? Anyway, I've got to find Hana. Easier said than done. Wander around the building, but I don't see any sign of the girl. Maybe she went back home? Eventually, I slumped down on a bench in a corner. I wish I could go home too, I muttered to myself. Something cold presses against my neck. What? Is that what I think it is? Make a scene and I slit your throat. Oh no. It is a knife. Two foreign men grab me by the arms from either side. In that moment, fragmentary memories flood through my mind. I'm on a street. It looks like someplace in the Middle East. I'm being dragged along by several men. I'm too scared to speak. There are people on the street and market vendors, but none of them seem willing to get involved. The men drag me into some back alley. Help me. Please, somebody help me. I'm being abducted. And then a dark silhouette drops down in front of me. The figure brandishes a knife threateningly at the men. The blade moves with dazzling speed. My captors are all down in mere moments. Who is this? Who came to save me? I try my utmost to drag my memories to the surface. It's a girl. That's right, I'm certain of that much. I don't remember her face, but it's a girl younger than me. Walk faster. The angry hiss in my ear snaps me out of my flashback. What was that memory just now? I'm more concerned about the girl who saved me than I am about the men who've captured me now. The two thugs march me along, still holding me by the arms. Can't believe she was in a place like that. Yeah, talk about giving us the runaround. Can't figure out what they're talking about. In a place like what? Giving them the runaround? Do you know me? The two men look at each other. Wait, are you the other one? One of them peers closely at my face. What are you talking about? What do you mean in a place like... I stop as a sudden idea comes to me. Hold on. Are you talking about that storehouse? The men look utterly confused. What are you talking about? One of them asks. I explained that I've lost my memory. This seems to make them pretty anxious. We gotta report this. One of the men takes out his cell phone and makes a call. That's the same... Wait, that could just be a brand logo. He informs whoever's on the other end that I've lost my memory. I have no idea what's going on. Based on what I can follow from the conversation, though, it seems these were the people who had put me in the storehouse. But why had they done that? One of the guys asked if I was the other one. What could that possibly mean? Could it be? Did they abduct me because they mistook me for someone else? If so, who? The more I try to think, the more muddied this all gets. Calm down. Just calm down. Let's think of what we know. What I do know for sure is that I woke up inside that storehouse. And evidently, I took a blow to the head, and that's the cause of my amnesia. Hold on. That's strange. These people kidnapped me before. Why wasn't the storehouse, well, locked? Seems pretty sloppy if they wanted to keep someone confined. What could this all possibly mean? It's no use. I haven't the foggiest. None of this makes any sense at all. Let go of her. I crane my neck to see who spoke. It's the man with the cane who was at the security office. Who the hell are you? One of my captors barks. I said let her go. Did you not hear? The man with the cane pulls a gun from his suit pocket. Get lost. This isn't worth dying over. The two men take a few steps back, then bolt out of the alleyway. Who are you? My voice trembles slightly. Guess he's not here. The man takes a quick look around. He? Do you mean Mr. Yanagashita? All that matters is that he's not here. Gun in hand, the man slowly approaches. Tomi Osawa. I know you've done nothing wrong. What? I feel a jolt of surprise at the name. Tomi Osawa? Is that my name? His face, a mask of stone. The man points the gun right at my head. Please. No hard feelings. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, wait. Yeah, we can jump to Achi from here. Achi took the escalator down to the 3rd floor, and there was Hitomi standing right there in the open after he'd been searching for her high and low. There you are! There you are! I thought we were going to meet on the 2nd floor, Achi said. She stared back at him in confusion. Ah, well, anyway. Come on, we have to go hide. Hide? Why? She gave him a dubious look. Achi felt like something was off, but now wasn't the time to dwell on it. Because those guys might have found us, he said. They're outside. He took hold of Hitomi's hand. Hey, let go. What gives? She quickly yanked her hand away. Huh? Achi tried to make sense of the way she was acting, but she took off down the corridor. Hey, Hitomi! He hurried after her. It was like changing her clothes had also changed her personality. Still, he couldn't just leave her alone. The kidnappers might well be closing in. He stayed in pursuit of her, trying not to draw too much attention. Where's the real Hitomi in all of this? Jesus. He lost track of her somewhere near the elevators. Ugh, what is her deal? Unsure of what else he should do, he headed back down to their rendezvous point on the 2nd floor. When he arrived, he spotted Hitomi headed down the escalator ahead of him. Hitomi! Achi shouted, but his voice vanished into the noise of the crowd, and she disappeared onto the 1st floor. Damn it! Achi rushed down the escalator. He took the steps 2, 3, 5 at a time. He made it to the 1st floor and looked around. There was Hitomi about to take the different escalator back up. Why is she doing this? He waved his arms to get her attention, but she didn't notice and headed right back up. Down, up? What the heck is she thinking? Achi sped around and got on the upward escalator. Out of my way, come on! He shoved people aside as he ran up the moving stairs. But he saw no sign of Hitomi when he reached the 2nd floor. He'd lost track of her completely. Oh, come on, this is ridiculous! Achi's shoulders slumped. He felt exhausted, but he kept up his search, scouring one floor after another until eventually he made it down to the second basement level. Had she grown too impatient waiting for Kanon and gone off searching for the blue minivan again? I think I can handle myself from here, he thought back to what Hitomi had said earlier. Damn it, she's not going to be okay by herself. He pounded his fist into the wall in frustration. Please stop. That was Hitomi's voice. Hitomi! Achi moved faster than he could think. Achi! She called back. A pair of thugs had grabbed her by both arms. Achi stomped his way toward them. Get your hands off her, he shouted. Huh? What's it to you, pal? The older of the two, a middle-aged fellow, turned to Achi with a sneer. He looked familiar somehow. Hitomi shook herself free of the men and ran over to Achi. It's no use trying to act tough, buddy. We're just trying to get back what we're owed. Don't make us have to get rough with you. What you're owed? Hitomi, what do you owe these people money? No, I don't. It just came after me and started going on about 2 million yen. She looked just as baffled by the situation as Achi was. If you're gonna blame someone, blame your boss, the older man said. He gestured to his lackey. A feral gleam flashed in the young punk's eyes. It was the look of a man who couldn't resist dishing out a beatdown. He brought up his fists and shifted his feet, shadowboxing a few quick jabs with his left hand. It looked to Achi like the guy was an experienced boxer. Hold on, Hitomi said. What do you mean, my boss? Say what? Yanagashira, what the hell do you think? The young punk shuffled closer, fists still menacing. Then his expression changed. Hey. Hold on. Are you Achi Endo? Yeah, that's right. Haha, well, ain't that lucky? Getting to throw down with you like this. The punk sounded pleased indeed. I've heard all sorts of rumors about you, you know. Let's see how true they are. Achi didn't like his chances with a straight-up fight with a trained boxer. What should he do? He had to go for broke. His best chance was to hope for an opening to deliver a low kick. A kick using the foot or shin to strike. To strike the opponent in the thigh, just above the knee. In karate, this is known as the Gedon Mawashi Geri. Gedon Mawashi Geri. Why did I say that French? Since the legs are longer than the arms, this is an effective technique against boxers. Oh, what the fuck is going on? Why am I dropping frames? Is the stream alright? Is the stream good? Do I have to do anything? You guys can still see me, right? You guys can still see and hear me, correct? Okay. Alright, give me 1 second while I disable my night light. You need to time it perfectly when the opponent took a step forward. With a loud breath, the thug shot out his left arm. Now! Achi shifted his stance and unleashed a low kick. Suddenly, the elevator doors opened right nearby. Achi and the punk both stopped in mid-attack. A miserable-looking older man stood in the elevator. At the sight of him, the punk's face went red with rage. You, Toyama! Going up. The man in the elevator hurriedly closed the doors. The two thugs rushed towards him, but the elevator had already begun heading back upward. Come on, after him, the older man shouted. The young punk raced up the stairs. You stay right where you are, the older fellow added, glaring at Hitomi. Then he followed after his lackey. Toyama everywhere. That is so true. Achi scoffed. Wait, what? Does he really think we're dumb enough to just wait here? Achi scoffed. This whole game is a fucking Yakuza sub-story. Achi, I've been looking all over for you. Hitomi gave him an angry swat on the chest. For me? What are you talking about? You weren't waiting where you said you'd be. Yeah, because you went up to another floor. What do you mean? I went right where you said. On the second floor. Huh? This wasn't quite adding up. Second floor? What are you talking about? You went up to the third floor. No, I didn't. Wait, what? None of this makes any sense. Achi felt like his brain was getting scrambled. Well, anyway, at least I found you safe and sound. Yeah. The two smiled at one another. What's with those clothes? Tomi's new outfit was completely different from the clothes she'd had on earlier. Tried on a few things, but wound up deciding on this. You tried other stuff on? Ah, okay, that explains it, Achi said. At least now things sort of made sense. Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting so many, like, so many dropped frames. YouTube seems to be fine. Let me see. Oh yeah, now YouTube isn't getting enough data. One moment, I think I'm gonna need to do a full restart of OBS. Possibly. I'm gonna see if that fixes it. Are we good? We should be online now. I had to restart OBS. Okay. Yeah, my probably would have been an I think it's probably was an OBS memory leak or something. All right. Go back. So, where were we? What's with those clothes? Hitomi's new outfit was completely different from the clothes she had on earlier, or she'd had on earlier. Tried a few things, but wound up deciding on this. Tried other stuff on? Ah, that's okay. That explains it, Achi said. At least now things sort of made sense. It's nice, you know. What is? Your clothes, I mean. They look good on you. Thank you. I'm actually blushing now. Kind of made me blush to say it. Achi and Hitomi shyly avoided each other's eyes. So, hey, Achi said, eager to change the subject. Do you still have that magazine? Oh, right, yeah. I was gonna just throw it away, but I couldn't. How come? I haven't been able to find the right kind of receptacle. Newspapers and magazines are supposed to be kept separate from normal trash, right? Hitomi scanned their surroundings for a suitable bin. Wait, are you serious? Yeah. You're thinking about proper recycling now of all times? Is that weird? Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. I think you might just be perfect. Achi found himself blushing even harder now. Tama! A sudden yell snapped him out of his embarrassment. The sketchy-looking fellow who had given her the magazine was scampering down the stairs towards them. Great, Achi said. The weirdo's back. The man ignored him, though, and leaned in close to Hitomi. Haha! So you do still have it! He snatched the magazine from Hitomi's hands. Yes, this one hasn't been scratched off yet! The man hunkered down on the floor and began scratching away at a scratch card stapled into the centerfold. Wait! Don't let him have that! Another man came swooping out of nowhere and yanked the magazine away. It was the older fellow who had appeared in the elevator minutes before. You can't do that! That's mine! The sketchy-looking man clutched at the older newcomer. Let go! No way! I said let go! And I said no way! The two were fighting right in front of the exit, keeping Achi and Hitomi from leaving. Thank you, I am now live playing this game again. How'd you like this? The older man shouted, scratching away haphazardly at the ticket. Now it's just a worthless scrap of paper. Ah, my 100,000 yen. You mean my 100,000 yen? Then the middle-aged fellow looked back down at the ticket. You fuck up. Gah! What are the odds? Somehow in his random scratching, he'd happened to land himself a winner. Give it! No way! The two men took off, engaged in a running battle for the ticket. What was the deal with those two? I'm not sure. Achi and Hitomi could only stand there, dumbfounded. On the other hand, hey, look at the time, it's almost 3. The two headed hurriedly for the Gigo back entrance. But just as they were nearing the doors, the shutters dropped down in front of them. Whoa, what gives? Due to maintenance, all entrances other than the main entrance on the first floor have been closed. We apologize for the inconvenience. Customers wishing to leave, please use the main entrance on the first floor. Achi glared at the loudspeaker. It looked like there was no exit through the back after all. I've got a really bad preposition about this. You mean premonition. Hitomi had gotten quicker to butt in with her corrections. Holding on to their premonitions, the two hurried their way up the stairwell. As Hitomi tried to head out the first floor entryway, Achi yanked her back. Careful. What's the matter? It's that guy. Huh? Hitomi's expression stiffened. Slipping behind a nearby pillar, Achi pointed to the man with the cane, who was keenly eyeing shoppers as they came and went. Well, this bites. No way we're getting out with him there. Achi, Hitomi whispered in his ear. Behind us. Achi glanced back and saw the two goons walking in their direction. Uh-oh. If those two caused a scene like before, the assassin would notice them for sure. Aha! The younger punk had spotted them. Damn it, Achi thought, gritting his teeth. Beep! But the thuggish pair let out a teensy squeak and darted off in a different direction, vanishing from view. What the heck? Achi and Hitomi watched them go, unsure what to make of the sudden retreat. Well, anyway, Achi said after a moment, we can try to find another way out. Taking Hitomi by the hand, he headed back into the shopping area. The back entrance on the first floor, that was a no-go. The other emergency exits were also locked down, which meant that the main entrance on the first floor really was the only choke point in or out. It was almost time for them to meet Kanon. They needed to find some way to bust out of here. The pair headed back toward the main entrance. Then they saw the man with the cane again, heading in their direction. He hadn't seen them yet, but there was no way they'd avoid him if they didn't do something quick. Guess for now we've got to go up, Achi said to Hitomi. They started racing up the nearest escalator, which was descending from above. My bad, coming through. Sorry, please excuse us. They fought and shoved their way past a stream of people riding in the other direction. They could see the second floor now. Achi figured they'd be in the clear once they got there. But then a large woman appeared at the top of the escalator, heading down. She was the one who'd been in the Chinese restaurant on the fourth floor. The one who'd supposedly packed an entire buffet into her belly. She was wide enough that Achi and Hitomi would never be able to slip past her. Hey, out of the way, Achi shouted. But the young woman ignored him. Achi tried to push past, but he just bounced off her. They were drifting inevitably back down toward the first floor. It was like they were riding a conveyor belt that was delivering them right to the assassin. This was not good. They didn't do something soon. They'd... Wait a sec. Something must have caught the assassin's eye. Achi saw him suddenly rush outside. There was no telling what had just happened, but now there was a chance to escape, and Hitomi raced out the door. Outside, the man with the cane was nowhere to be seen. Looks like we're safe. Achi let out a sigh. For now, someone said. Keep your eyes open. The sudden words made the two turn with a start. Kanon was standing right behind them. She'd gotten this close, and neither of them had noticed a thing. She moved with all the skill of an assassin. Achi felt a chill shoot through him. And that's another storyline down. Things are getting pretty intense at the Gigo. Gogi? Gigo? Gigo? What is it? Is it Gigo? I don't know. Let's do some of Kenji. I do not want others intruding into my domain. Accordingly, I do not intrude on others. That is how I've lived my life. Gigo. That is how I forged my sense of calm. But something has begun to drive me mad. The boundaries between myself and others have started to collapse. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I will become something other than myself. And that is one thing I fear I could never bear. Oh no, you don't! Kajiwara tackled Tanaka as he strode toward the door. The two men collapsed in a heap in the front entryway. Hey! Tanaka barked. What are you doing? Hold still. Kajiwara ran his bug tracker all over Tanaka's body. It began beeping loudly. Aha! Kajiwara pulled off Tanaka's necktie clip. It's a listening device. Tanaka's face went pale. Where did you get this? Kajiwara demanded. Well... Tanaka trailed off into silence. I gave it to him. I gave it to him. It was I who had appeared on the second floor landing. You were listening in? Osawa asked brokenly. Ma'am, Kajiwara said. Would you mind explaining this? For once, he seemed deadly serious. I was barely able to hear a thing. That's what I get for going with something so cheap. I held out a dangling earpiece. When and where did you get that? Earlier today, when I left to do some shopping. And why did you plant a listening device on Mr. Tanaka? Kajiwara asked. That's what I want to know, Tanaka chimed in. Why would you do this, Mrs. Osawa? He was trembling. You were outside emailing someone earlier, weren't you, Mr. Tanaka? I saw you from the window. Emailing. Kajiwara looked into Tanaka's face. I nodded. He came back in the house shortly afterward. I asked him where he'd gone. And what do you think he said? She was practically gloating. Playing to her little audience, she began stalking down the stairs. He said he'd gone to check something at the lab. Despite the fact that he was out in the yard there fiddling with his phone the whole time. So I figured if I bugged him, he might show his true colors, and... Enough. Osawa cut his wife off. Tanaka had been emailing Hitomi, of course, but he couldn't reveal that now. I think I get what happened here, Kajiwara interposed. He folded his arms. Your wife thought that Mr. Tanaka was in contact with the kidnappers, and so she planted a listening device on him. The detective peered at Tanaka. Who were you emailing, sir? Yes, that's right, I chirped. Show us your phone, Mr. Tanaka. Let's see what you were really up to. Or is there some reason you don't want to show us? Osawa started to panic. If the police checked that cell phone, they'd find the emails from Hitomi. And if the kidnappers somehow found out about that, Maria's life would be in danger. But I was still relentlessly advancing on Tanaka. Stop this. Darling? She turned to him in surprise. Tanaka was sending emails on my behalf, Osawa said. I asked him to do it. And just who was he emailing? It was... He needed to think of a lie fast. It was Pretty Honey. The room went silent. Pretty... Wait, what did you say? Kajiwara asked after a long, awkward moment. Honey, Osawa replied meekly. My apologies. I didn't quite catch that one. One more time? Pretty honey. Osawa's voice was scarcely audible. Pretty honey? I asked, sounding ashamed on his behalf. Who's that? Uh-oh. Osawa felt his cheeks burning. Of all the names he might have chose, why had he picked that one? Who is it, sir? Hajiwara demanded. He regarded Osawa's face keenly. A personal associate of mine. Wouldn't know them. But why ask Tanaka to send these messages? Hajiwara asked. Don't you have a computer in your study? Couldn't you have sent the emails yourself? My computer was having problems sending email. I'm not sure what the issue was. Look, the point is, there's no reason to worry about Tanaka's emails. Now, I assume we're done here? I need Tanaka to run some errands for me. With that, Osawa opened the front door. Tanaka gave him a quick bow and headed out the door. Hey, wait! I started to go after him. Just calm down. Osawa barred the way. There's no way he's connected to the kidnappers. Can't you see that? His voice cracked, and he shuddered at a sudden rush of emotion. There, sir, Kajiwara said consolingly. She's just deeply worried about your daughter. I turned around and marched back upstairs. But still, if she is that worried, giving a tie clip as a gift seems a bit... Clothing accessory meant to hold one's necktie in place. In the old days, they were a quintessential part of the salaryman's outfit, along with cufflinks and the company badge. Recently, tie clips have come back into vogue with some older men, now more frequently referred to as tie bars. Kajiwara's muttering trailed off. What do you mean? Osawa asked. Ah, nothing. Not important. The detective waved a hand dismissively, but there had been a definite note of suspicion in his voice. Well, back to work. Kajiwara headed back into the living room. Osawa returned to his study and sat in front of his computer. He had no desire to be in the presence of the detectives who now crowded his living room. The Aya Kamiki fan forum for people 40 and over was still open on his monitor. He reloaded the page and saw that his earlier thread had gotten a reply. It was from Pretty Honey, a regular contributor to Osawa's threads. Username of someone who posts regularly on the Aya Kamiki fan forum. Seems to know a lot about agriculture and the police, you say? As evidenced by statements such as, if the world were a farm with 100 people, as well as a tendency to post another site called the 87th Precinct Telecommunity. Incidentally, Shinya Kano's girlfriend, Rumi, also posts from the 87th Precinct Telecommunity from time to time. She has had several massive arguments with Pretty Honey there, with the latter criticizing the police for not doing their job, while Rumi insists that police work is very difficult and deserves more credit. Oh, Jesus Christ, what have you done, Osawa? Oh, fuck. You've implicated Shizuo into your fucking conspiracy. What is he gonna do now? I'll come back to this jump later. I'm opposed to the idea of Aya Kamiki expanding into America. She should be able to enjoy the success she's earned in Japan without having to struggle overseas. Wait. No, let me redo this. I'm opposed to the idea of Aya Kamiki expanding into America. She should be able to enjoy the success she's earned in Japan without having to struggle overseas. Aya has done so much for us. I'd like her to keep supporting Japan forever. The message was festooned with the sort of emoticons that a young girl might use. Those are called cowmoji. Read a book. You might learn something. Pretty Honey claimed to be a 19-year-old female college student. Oh, brother. Although the community was meant for Aya Kamiki fans 40 and over, the settings allowed anyone to post there. The only young woman among the members, however, was Pretty Honey. The thread continued. By the way, have you tried the Aya fortune teller yet? There's a link below. Fortune telling, huh? The practice of determining a person's future luck or life events using cards, horoscopes, and or other methods of divination. Most people believe such prognostication when it foretells something good, and don't believe it when the outlook is bad. That's about as much faith in fortune telling as someone should have. Okay. Osawa stared. Should he ask it whether Maria was safe? If it gave him a good answer, he'd believe it. If it were a bad answer, he wouldn't. It might be worth a shot just for the peace of mind it'd bring. He clicked the link, and the Aya fortune teller page came up. It asked you to enter your birth date and sex, and then Aya Kamiki would offer her advice. Osawa followed the instructions, entering his date of birth, selecting male, and then clicking next. A few seconds later, his fortune was displayed. You're a very work-minded person. He'd hoped for some insight on Maria, but instead it was just a write-up about his personality. You'd never be able to get by without the devoted support of those around you. But you probably don't realize that, do you? It's a big mistake to think you can get through all of life's challenges on your own. There's nothing cool about being ignorant. If you don't get over your indifference to the world might start to harbor quite a grudge. Find a way to connect more deeply with the people around you, and start living a better life before it's too late. Just do that, and you're sure to have a wonderful future ahead. Famous people who got your result. Shinosuke Orai, the head of the Wandering Angels theater troupe. He has an interview appointment with Minoru Minorikawa at 2:30 this afternoon. Osawa couldn't help but feel that the advice was painfully appropriate. He went back to the forum and replied to Pretty Honey. Nice to hear from you again, Pretty Honey. I definitely know how you feel about Aya Kamiki being ours. Still, I'm confident she's got what it takes to persevere and succeed in America. And if she does fail, well, all of us in Japan will be here to welcome her back all the same. Guess this voyage to America I've concocted just has me a little worked up. Osawa clicked post and leaned back in his chair. Mr. Osawa! Mr. Osawa! It was Kajiwara shouting from outside the door. First the toilet, then lunch. What is it now? There's been a development in the case. Please join us in the living room. We have important matters to discuss. Kajiwara had his detective face on. Uh-oh. When Osawa entered the living room, I was already there, looking stern and solemn. Now that you're both here, Kajiwara said, allow me to share what we know. We've identified a location that appears to be the Syndicate's hideout. You have? What about Maria? Is she there? Osawa exclaimed. We still haven't been able to ascertain whether your daughter is safe. Well, then, what were these important matters you needed to discuss? Osawa felt a wave of anxiety rush through him. The hideout in question is a condominium in Hiro, and it's owned by... By whom? Mr. Osawa, please calm down. Tell me! Go on, out with it! Kajiwara took a deep breath. The residence is owned by Mamoru Tanaka. Osawa was speechless. He couldn't process what he was hearing. Tanaka? Lies! I shrieked. Just what are you implying? That Mr. Tanaka is the kidnapper? What's your proof? Where's your proof? With all due respect, ma'am, weren't you suspicious of Mr. Tanaka yourself? Well, I suppose, but... You did go so far as to stick a listening device on him. Flustered, I withdrew into a vacant silence. The sudden ringing of the phone startled everyone in the room. Was that Tanaka? No, it couldn't be. There was no way. The phone was wiretapped. The detective wearing the headset nodded to Kajiwara, who in turn motioned for Osawa to pick it up. Hello? He said cautiously. Hello? Ah, hello. Is this the home of Maria Osawa? The voice was not Tanaka's. Osawa didn't recognize it, but the veil of despair that hung before him thinned slightly. Is this the home of Hitomi Osawa? This time the man on the phone used Hitomi's name instead. Yes, that's right. The caller immediately hung up. Oh fuck. Get out of there. It's Victor Gideon. He's gonna come in there looking for you. He's gonna come in there looking for his daughter. One of your daughters. One of your daughters holds the key to release Elpis into the world. As Osawa stood there, dumbstruck, Kajiwara gently took the receiver and hung up the phone. One of the detectives addressed Kajiwara. We've traced the source of the call to a cell phone. Also, we've pinpointed the base station used. Inform Director Kuze so he can prepare a team, just in case. Just in case? Osawa asked. What do you mean by that? Kajiwara frowned slightly. Just because this is a kidnapping case doesn't mean that every phone call comes from the kidnapper. We'll look into it, of course, but... Ah, I see. Besides, right now, confirming Mr. Tanaka's whereabouts takes priority. Don't you agree? Osawa nodded. Someone should call him, the detective asked. Or added. I'll do it. I got out her cell phone and dialed up Tanaka. Where was Mr. Tanaka headed? Kajiwara asked. He eyed Osawa keenly. To work. I sent him to pick up some documents. Wait. I don't actually know. Even leaving out the part about Hitomi, that was still the truth. If Tanaka was behind the kidnapping, Osawa knew he ought to tell the police about the blue minivan and the emails from his daughter. But part of him still trusted Tanaka deep down, and he couldn't bring himself to reveal it all. We have investigators en route to Tanaka's condominium, Kajiwara said. Let's wait for them to report in. We have investigators en route to Tanaka's condominium, Kajiwara said. Let's wait for them to report in. On the far... Wait. Was that double text? On the far side of the room, I was squawking in frustration. Despite several attempts, she hadn't been able to get through to Tanaka. Kajiwara's phone rang, and he pulled it from his pocket. Kano, what's going on? He headed into one corner as he spoke into the receiver. I suppose that'd be all right. What for, though? After a few more quiet words, Kajiwara held his phone out to Osawa. One of the investigators on the scene would like to speak with you. Frowning in confusion, Osawa took hold of the phone. Osawa speaking. Can I help you? This is Detective Kano from the Shibuya precinct. Time is critical, so I just need to cut to the chase here. There was a pause as the speaker took a deep breath before continuing. Did you give the antiviral drug to your daughter Hitomi? What? Osawa was so startled that his voice caught in his throat. What are you talking about? The antiviral research was top secret. How did some detective from the Shibuya precinct know about it? Osawa was bewildered. I'm the one asking the questions here, Mr. Osawa. Did you give the antiviral drug to your daughter Hitomi? I'm not sure I understand the question. I know what this syndicate is really after, Mr. Osawa. Osawa's mind went blank when he heard what Kano said next. He could give no reply. Mr. Osawa? The detective continued after a moment. Is everything all right? Without really thinking, Osawa hung up. They were after the virus? Did he mean the UA virus kept at the lab? Wait, hold on. The detective had to be wrong about that. The kidnappers must have the UA virus already. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had to do what I did to Hitomi. Do not look away, these are your crimes. At last, Osawa understood what those emails from A were all about. They were a preview of the tragedy that was yet to unfold. The kidnappers probably meant to start the main event soon. It might already be too late to stop them. Mr. Osawa, Kajiwara asked, are you all right? The detective gazed with concern into Osawa's ashen face. Bracing himself, Osawa spoke up, his voice hoarse and dry. Killer virus is about to be unleashed in Tokyo, and I know who's responsible. It's me. The sudden confusion caused the detectives on site to stir like a hornet's nest. Please, arrest me. Feeling the... He held out both his wrists. I'll tell you everything down at the station, he said. Anything you need to know. Osawa imagined bodies dropping left and right. There were limits to what might be cured by the small stockpile of antiviral his lab currently contained. If they were unable to quarantine the infected in time, then Shibuya, no, all of Japan might be engulfed in a pandemic that the drug could never stop. a massive outbreak of a particular infection on a regional or global scale. In the 14th century Europe, a massive cholera outbreak is said to have killed 2/3 of the population, and the Spanish flu outbreak in the early 20th century killed at least 25 million people worldwide. Given modern advances in transportation, some researchers are of the opinion that the global risk of a pandemic is higher than ever before. Curious. He could only hope that his complying with the authorities might help stop the spread of the infection before it was too late. Guilty conscience. The thought of the Uwa virus devastating Japan filled Osawa with despair. Blaming himself, he asked to be arrested, but this only happened because of what Kano said to him. A simple error in word choice led to Osawa to a completely wrong conclusion. Kano ought to properly inform Osawa just what the kidnappers are after. I think with that, we will end things off here for the night. This game again, I keep saying it, this game continues to be fucking insane. But like in a measured way. It's not Danganronpa Looney Tunes bullshit, but it's like its own like brand of insanity. So yes. Thank you all for joining the stream tonight. Real pleasure having you all here, despite all the tech issues. And I will see you all next time, whenever that is. And I hope you all have a good night in the meantime. Take care and good night. Bye.